2 steaks, same thickness, same preseason, same target temperature. One's going in a hot pan, the other one's going in a low oven. The method changes everything about how the heat moves through the meat, but the one non-negotiable, no matter how you prepare it, is giving it ample time to rest before you can cut into it. I'm going to cook one steak conventionally in a pan, searing both sides and flipping a few times before butter basting and allowing to rest. The other steak will go in a low temperature oven first, reverse-seared, before being pulled to get a quick sear and a butter baste at the end. But first, let's talk a little bit about resting our meat. Why do we need to rest our meat? Simply because we want to maximize moisture retention, maximum juiciness. When meat is cooked, we are forcing heat from the surface inward toward the center. Moisture also concentrates with that heat movement. The meat will continue to cook for a while, even after pulling from the heat. What we want is to allow the muscle fibers, which have been contracting under heat, to relax at rest, and let that moisture redistribute. Both methods used today require this to retain maximum juiciness. A reverse sear will more slowly bring up the internal temperature of the meat and allow for a more even cook, but it still drives moisture inward regardless. Resting on a rack will allow air to circulate all around the meat versus trap heat underneath the bottom. Alright, steak B is going into a 250 degree oven first. Low and slow brings the whole steak up evenly. By the time it comes out, the gradient between the exterior and the center will be nearly flat. Our target temperature, somewhere around 115 degrees, internal. We'll come back to it. It'll take about 45, maybe 60 minutes depending on the thickness. This gives us time to do some other mise en place. While the oven does its work, we're going to work on the sauce. Sauce au poivre. Whole peppercorns cracked with the bottom of the pan on the board. You want them cracked and rough, not fine. They need to hold up through a braise and still give you texture at the end. Shallots, finely diced. They'll go into the fond after searing our steak and cook down into the sauce base. Finely diced means they melt in rather than stay chunky. Parsley, fine. This goes in last, off the heat, to finish the sauce. Everything's prepped, everything's in its place. Pan over very high heat. The water bead skates. Our pan's ready. A cold pan now means steaming, not searing. Fat cap first. Stand the steak on its edge and render the fat before anything else. You're softening that thick band of fat and building flavor directly into the pan. Hold it until it's golden. First side down, don't touch it. It'll release cleanly when it's ready. First flip. That's the color we want. For a cut this thick, we're going to flip more than once. Each flip redistributes the heat and keeps the gradient from getting too steep on any one side. The thermometer is going to do the monitoring for us. Once we hit about 100 degrees Fahrenheit internal, it's time to baste. Butter and herbs, baste constantly. The butter carries the heat to the top of the steak while the bottom keeps searing. Keep the pan tilted. Keep spooning. This is also building the fond for the sauce. Once we hit about 115 degrees, it's time to pull it. Go onto the rack, not a plate. A plate will trap heat underneath and keeps cooking the bottom. The rack lets air move on all sides. The thermometer stays in. Stopwatch starts. The temperature is going to keep climbing. Carryover. And I want to know exactly how far. Same pan, don't clean it. The fond is the foundation of the sauce. Fresh oil, shallots straight in. They pick up all that color and flavor immediately. Cracked pepper in with the shallots. Let them toast and caramelize together. You want the shallots soft and golden and the peppercorns fragrant before adding anything else in. Red wine to deglaze. Everything stuck to that pan. The fond, the caramelized shallots, the toasted pepper, it all lifts into the liquid. Reduce until it's nearly syrupy. Demi-glace, which is just reduced beef stock, goes in for some body and depth. Then we add Dijon for sharpness and to help it emulsify. A touch of maple syrup, just enough to balance the heat of the pepper, not to sweeten. Let it combine and reduce again. Almost there. Off the heat now, steak B is coming out of the oven. Same pan, maximum heat. One job, crust. The oven did all the temperature work already. The sear is just finishing the exterior. Butter basted, every face, including the fat cap. Then we take it off. Steak A is at 13 minutes, 133 degrees. It climbed 20 degrees since the pull. It's still moving. We're not cutting yet. The sauce may have over-reduced while the steaks rested, and that's fine. A small amount of water will loosen it right back up to the right consistency. Off the heat for creme fraiche. If the pan is too hot, it may split. Stir it in slowly and let it melt and enrich the sauce. It's coating the spoon. That's the consistency we want. We'll add parsley to finish, still off the heat, and the sauce is ready. Time to slice our steak. Steak A has had 13 plus minutes of rest. This cross section shows you the meat is still juicy and pink. Watch the board as I slice it. The fibers have relaxed. The moisture has redistributed. There's almost nothing on that board. It's all still in the steak. Steak B has had less time, about 7 to 8 minutes. Let's see what we have. Look at that interior, edge to edge pink, minimal gray band. The reverse-seared gradient did exactly what it was supposed to. But look at the board as I slice the rest of it. The moisture is leaking. The fibers haven't finished relaxing yet. We cut too early. And this is the lesson. The reverse-sear gives you a better gradient, better even doneness, more control. But rest is still non-negotiable. The method helps you control the evenness of the cook, but not whether or not you need to rest. Cut either steak before it's ready, and the result is the same. The juice will leak out. It's not coming back. Two different problems. A steak A rested fully. Juice is retained. Steak B has a better cook inside, but we didn't give it enough time on the board. The thermometer and the clock both matter. The method you use to cook determines how much rest you need. That's the rule. Conventional sear, steeper gradient, high carryover, longer rest. Reverse sear, shallow gradient, less carryover, shorter rest but not too short. And the thermometer isn't optional. Not for the pull temp, not during the rest. The number is the only honest signal you have. Not the color, not the clock alone, not the feel. Two things from today. Pull early, 10 degrees below your target, depending on the method and the thickness, and always rest on a rack. Everything else follows from there. Let's plate up. Baby Yukon potatoes, simply roasted. We'll put those down first. We'll take our sliced steak, fan it out, and finally, our sauce au poivre. Be generous. It's earned it. The next time you pull a steak, check the number. Pull it early, put it on a rack, give it the time it needs. The thermometer will tell you when it's done. Drop in the comments, have you tried the reverse sear, or is this new? I want to know. Subscribe for the rest of the series.